Oh, Malcolm J. Brenner. Your semi-fictional autobiography about the time you had sex with a dolphin never ceases to surprise. Well, welcome back to Pizza Cult Books. Apparently there's a protest going on outside. Not totally sure what's up with that, but I think it might have something to do with this mysterious package that we received the other day. It's got a little seal on it. Let's do an unboxing, but it's kind of just paper. An unpapering, a dispapering. Ooh, we've got a secret envelope. A top secret. Not just secret, top. Team Brave. You must defeat Culture the Vulture. He is causing confusions in Tokatok. Complete the 3 top secret missions below to save the day. Alright. Culture has blinded members of Team Brave, and they're counting on you to travel through Tokatok. Discover what's true as you find the drawings Culture has hidden around your house. Culture has set 6 difficult tasks before you. Use focus, steadiness, and teamwork to complete them in time. The fate of Freedom Island is in your hands. Are you ready to be brave? Sure. Okay, now we've got a map. I ripped it already. It's awfully large. Holy shit. Oh, this is Freedom Island. Oh, let's see. We've got Deserted Desert. Good one. Ferenzi Park. Looks like it has a NASCAR race around the outside. Capitol. Which I guess looks like the White House or something. The nation's capital? What the hell is that? Wait a minute. Doomsdome. Domatron. Does Disney know what you're doing? Is this copyright safe just because the Death Star doesn't have fucking stairs where the laser comes out? Mar-a-Lago Coast. I'm not sure if that's some kind of reference. I understand Mar-a-Lago, but why car? Well, this is where we'll be spending our time today. Tokatok. Just in case you were worried we might spend our time in an exciting environment like a Death Star or a theme park with a NASCAR track around it, we'll just be kind of in like a woods. Oh, and there's a book. Well, this is Pizza Cult Books. That kind of makes sense. Elephants Are Not Birds by Ashley St. Clair. And art by Stelliana Doneva. Oh, this looks pretty harmless. Should we just see what's going on in here? Okay, so this is Elephants Are Not Birds, and it's the first in an entry of a new publisher called Brave Books. Brave Books is a publisher dedicated to bringing real American values that endure, equipping parents to have intentional and enjoyable conversations with their kids about topics that matter. Upcoming topics in this saga include sanctity of life. What kid doesn't want to read about that? Capitalism. Nothing like a pro-capitalism book to really engage a child's mind. Cancel culture. Something kids care about as well. Critical race theory. And the right to bear arms. So Elephants Are Not Birds is meant to be a kid's book, and my understanding of it is it's meant to be an anti-trans children's book. So it's supposed to, I guess the sort of theory in Elephants Are Not Birds is that culture is convincing people to transition gender in some way, and then that's not what they actually want or something. First thing you kind of notice as you're flipping through this book is you start to see a lot of repeat art. It's clearly they've got some clip art, like of this friendly goat farmer, and they just kind of repeat him once, twice. You've got these moles who look pretty much the same, and they're all kind of right next to each other. They didn't even space them out to fool me into thinking they're different. So we meet our hero, Kevin, who's an elephant. Elephants, I guess, in Tokatok, which is Kind of a weird name for like a conservative town, right? It sounds like a place you would get really good weed. Elephants do work. They like haul shit around. Kevin the elephant likes to sing more than he likes to work. Which, tell me about it. Every day when I'm at work, it's like, Peter's on a vacation far away. You know what's nice about having like no pitch is that I never worry that YouTube is gonna flag my videos. You know, I could sing an entire fucking song. I could do all the instruments and the drums and shit. No one's ever gonna know. So then, Culture, the vulture, kind of comes up to Kevin and is like, hey buddy, have you ever thought, instead of carrying these carts around, and since you like to sing, maybe you should be a bird? And Kevin's like, yeah, that sounds cool, I'll do it. Now Culture is like an evil vulture. He's got like an evil, a wizard's staff or something, which I don't know what you would do with a staff as a bird. That doesn't really seem like a flying aid, but okay. So then Kevin walks around saying he's a bird. And so then he kind of heads over to a tree and he's gonna jump out of a fucking tree and see if his wings work like it would for a normal bird. So of course everyone's freaking out because they're like, this isn't gonna work. And Kevin jumps out of the tree in a surprising 2-page spread that's in portrait style. So that's kind of fun. You get to turn the book as you go. But you know, then Kevin's upset because he obviously can't fly because he's a goddamn elf. But then the pizza restaurant that's somehow inside of a tree starts on fire, which is, you know, pretty believable, I guess, because I don't know why you'd build a pizza restaurant inside of a tree. Gives new definition to the meaning of wood-fired pizza, huh? So they're all like, geez, if only we had some animal here to help put out this fire, like maybe one who has like basically a fire hose attached to his face, that would be really super. And Kevin sees his reflection in a window and is like, wait a minute, I have a big fire hose attached to my face. So he gets a bunch of water and he puts out the tree. All the animals are like, thanks for putting out that fire. So then the vulture, Culture the vulture, comes to Kevin and is like, so, how do you like being a bird? And Kevin tells him this. Zip it, Culture. I'm not listening to you. I am most free when I trust what is true. I am an elephant, that's plain to see. From this point on, I'll enjoy being me. My life is not just about how I feel. I can sing as an elephant, that's what is real. And that's basically the end. Except for, this book does a thing that a lot of other books do. And this is a crime that's committed by both super conservative and the more liberal side of things. When you have like discussion questions and activities in your kid's book, come on. The activity is reading the book, guys. There's something really weird about this book. It's not so much that this is an anti-trans novel, but I think what's extra weird about this book is that if you didn't know that this was like an anti-trans book, I don't know how you would possibly put together that this was an anti-trans book. Like, the message doesn't really come through. You know, before we get into like the adult version of things, like how an adult would look at this book, I think we should look at it as a child would look at it. Any child who saw this book would pick it up, read it, and basically think it's like any number of other books, right? It's like one of your Sneetches or something, where it's like, just be happy being yourself. This was like every book when I was a kid, right? It would be like, there's some animal or person who has something unusual about them, and then they use that unusual thing to solve a problem, and then everybody's like, oh, we like you. Rudolph, right? Rudolph's the perfect example. For some reason, everyone's like, oh, you have a glowing light bulb nose that's incredibly magical and happens to be one of the holiday colors that we really like. Get the hell out of here. But then he saves the day, and they're all like, oh, I guess it's okay to have, like, a super magical power. They should do a Justice League comic like that. You know, where, like, someone comes to join the Justice League, and they're like, laser X-ray vision, that's dumb. And then they save the day, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess that was alright. I feel like this must have happened with Aquaman. They're like, talk to fishes, huh? Cool. And then at some point he made like a whale crush Lex Luthor or something and paralyze him for life. And they were like, oh, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool how you destroyed that guy's spine. Awesome. But anyway, I think the message is too subtle. If that's the message you want to get across, is to that trend. I'm not sure what the message is, but let's say that it's like transgender isn't a thing. If that was the message you were trying to get across, I don't think it's going to come across very clearly in this book. I barely got the message, and I'm an adult who had to order this book directly from the publisher, by the way, because it's only been recently that this showed up on Amazon or Goodreads or anything like that. I don't even think it's on Goodreads still. It's just on Amazon more recently. What you walk away from this book is like, be happy with who you are. But my understanding, which is limited, of the way a transgender person would view their gender is probably like, yes, I am male. And so I would think a transgender person would be like, I am happy with who I am, but who I am is male and doesn't necessarily match up with the gender I was assigned at birth, or, you know. I'm trying to use the correct language here, and I'm sorry if I'm messing this up. So the point is, it almost reaffirms that transgender is a thing. Because it's like, be happy with who you are, and if who you are is... If I take that to the conclusion and I say, well, who I am is transgender, I guess I also think it's strange because maybe the metaphor isn't very good. For the most part, like, what a human man can do, a human woman can generally do as well, right? Where an elephant and a bird, like, yeah, there's things an elephant is capable of or good at that a bird would suck at. Like, a bird would suck at carrying someone on its back. God knows I've tried. God knows I've seen a pretty big looking crow and thought, maybe that guy could fly me around. But what I'm getting at here is that when you take it across to a different species, it's kind of a different message, right? I have messages about this. I have messages for the conservatives, and I have messages for the liberals as well. Because you both need to hear some things about this book and books like it. Conservatives, you're not doing a very good job here. You could probably make the message a little more direct if you wanted to have a certain effect about it. I mean, this is called Brave Books. But the other thing I want to tell you is, if you want to have kids' books that are successful, they just need to be better. They need to have better art. This has extremely lazy art. The backgrounds are boring. You know, the environment is boring. The characters are boring. Like, all we know about Kevin is that he's an elephant and he likes to sing. All we know about culture is that he's a dickhead. That's about it. This is not like a world that I can't wait to return to. I mean, if you make an undeniably popular thing and then you want to talk about trans rights or something like that, you're gonna have a lot more of a platform and you might get a little more momentum. Alright, now I want to talk to you progressives out there. There are plenty of other books that go the other direction, and by the way, are not just as stupid, but very stupid. I took the time to read Feminist Baby, and my opinion of Feminist Baby is that sometimes people just slap a word on something to sell copies. I don't know how many of you have experience with babies, but I think the concept of feminism, which seems difficult to explain and sort of work out with adults, goes above their heads a little bit. Goes right above that part on their head that's pulsing, because they're babies. So in response to protests, will Pete's occult books carry elephants or not birds? Yeah, we will. I'm a bookstore, and I don't want to tell anyone what to read. I don't want to tell anyone what not to read. Is there a chance that someone could stumble upon this by accident and maybe be harmed by it? No. Any kid reading this is not going to know what the fuck it's talking about. Sometimes I think it's actually good for this stuff to be available. You figure out it's not a threat. Elephants Are Not Birds is not going to be burning up any bestseller lists. What I at least respect a little bit about conservatives is that when they ban a book, they go hard in the paint on it. They're like, let's burn it. And you know what? I don't want them to burn the book, but at least they're willing to go out there and say it. At least they're saying what they're doing. And so what I want to leave you with is the chance for progressive book banners to put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to price this book and I'm going to price it fairly. And if you want to see this book burned, instead of asking for Pizza Cult Books or other bookstores to take it off the shelf, you buy this shit and you burn it yourself. Have the guts. Start a fucking fire. And don't forget to fuel the flames of commerce.